While we try to be as helpful as possible, this podcast should not be considered as professional or financial advice. It contains general information only, and you should seek out professional advice for your own personal circumstances before making any financial decisions.
Welcome back, guys. I'm Julia.
And I'm Nick.
And this is the Enthusiast Lab. Alrighty, guys, welcome back to another episode of the Enthusiast Lab. Today we are doing questions and answers number 2. So
Duo.
So we couldn't get through all the questions that we wanted to last time we did this. So we've moved.
Ichi, ni, san, ni.
Fuck me.
I'm still thinking of different ways to say two in different languages.
So we've moved all the questions we couldn't answer last time into this one, and we've had a couple new fresh ones come through. So
Yes.
we're answering all of them, hopefully,
100%.
today.
Hopefully. Fingers crossed.
Yep.
Depends how much I like to spit yarn.
So I feel like we should jump right in.
Fuck oath. Oh, actually, did you know what happened today? I got asked for my fucking ID. I felt so personally attacked. Like, bro, do I not look like I'm fucking at least over the age of 18?
Take
Like,
it as a blessing.
no, because I know I look over the age of 18. The only thing I changed was I shaved. That was it. Oh, it's the baby fish. Oh, yes. Julie's stroking my chin. Everyone's sitting on the fucking Spotify. Fucking hell. But yeah, so I went to go like try and surprise you because something that we've just started is we started gaming together and we're playing Baldur's Gate 3, which is like a turn-based D&D style on the computer. And Julia's choice of drink that she started was a fruit tingle from, I don't know what it was, Bilson's or some shit. Fucking really nice. And then
It is here.
yeah, and Exhibit A. And then we liked like the sour blueberry one and stuff. And I was like, you know what? Fucking I'll go surprise her. You know, we've been busting hole and I finally got my gaming laptop back because after all that fucking shit show that happened.
By the time this comes out, everyone would have known that we got like your laptop back.
No, well, yeah, I posted it.
Yeah, I know, but like this comes out in like a month.
Oh. But anyways.
We
so
probably finished the game.
Yeah. Oh, fuck, man.
Well, I don't know, actually take
It's
backsies.
like main questing is between 75 to 100 gaming hours.
Ryan, you should get onto Baldur's Gate. You really do.
We've been playing this for like, I don't know, since launch, like a week. We've done 43 hours. We haven't even left the first part.
Yeah.
Send help. Send help.
But you guys know how I game. I'm like a completionist, so I'm like excavating under every rock.
No. There is completionist, then there is Julia. Julia goes every single fucking item, whether it's a rotten egg, rotten tomato. She'll pick up every item that is possible just to sell.
It's a gold.
It's one gold.
Well, you know what? When you look at my gold, you don't get sold.
People are sitting here waiting for the fucking Q&A. Anyways, what I was trying to get at is I felt personally attacked about being asked for my ID. I did show it to her. She mentioned that she really liked Mr. Enthusiast. She had actually seen us. I'm like, why the fuck did you, if you know? Anyways, long story short, I got some of those alcoholic beverages that were great. And that's my story for today. Okay,
so I'm just going to have to put a note in here now for Ryan to edit into the front. If you guys want to skip past us chit-chatting, jump to the 5-minute mark-ish and we'll start the actual episode.
And we'll just be like, please tap here.
Yep.
Anyways.
All right, so let's jump into our first question.
Let's do it. Fucking ask me all the questions, woman.
Question from Sarah.
Sarah.
How did you start construction runs?
So
I'll jump into this one to start us off, and then you bounce off me.
I was just taking big breath, but okay.
Big sigh. Construction runs wasn't something that we originally had planned. It actually started when we were still working in the second builder we were working with, and we were there.
Just a previous builder.
Previous builder.
Yep. Not one that we're aligning with anymore.
No. And what we used to do was put construction signs out onto them and take
Correct.
a photo of the block, because
Correct.
that was part of the deal submission process. We had to go out to the block and take a photo of it.
Of the block,
Of the block,
yeah.
To submit that deal to the builder. And
We were doing construction signs just so then, like after you've started the journey with us, you'll go out to the block and, sometimes the lot signs will be missing and stuff. So we went, fuck it, we'll grab a sign from the builder and we'll slap our fucking sticker on it. So then at least the next time you go to visit, you've got something to see there. It's just that little bit of excitement. That's what we're doing.
And then Nick was always doing slab drinks or slab catch up when
Correct.
the slab went down.
Yep.
So that was always the time that we visited your home or the home under construction.
Mm-hmm.
And then we really branded into Mr. Enthusiast, and we wanted to start taking more marketing shots or more construction shots to start documenting clients' journeys to use it in our marketing, which we didn't really do, but we thought we'll go visit at the milestone moments. So we would visit at slab down, brick completion, roof completion, and then at lockup, and then we'll see them at handover.
Yep.
So we started doing that. And what we noticed was sometimes we were misinformed by about a week or a couple of days, where they were saying bricks would be finished, but then bricks were maybe like 2 days off.
Well, yes, but it also, there was a conversation, we sat down and we were talking about it, and this was during the boom period.
I was going to lead into this afterwards. So like we would miss it, and we're then going to have to go back and take photos, which was annoying. And
especially handover, like we tell each builder when we align with them is we are there for the handover.
Yes,
that is our mandatory, and then sometimes we were being missed, so then we had to come back, and it was just a fuckery.
We were relying on the portal that the clients were provided, and that the site supervisor might tick it off a day.
Or sometimes they just forget.
Late.
Yes.
So then we were waiting for like the bricks to be finished, and then we'd be like, fuck it, we're just going to go and have a look because it's been way too long. It doesn't
100%.
sound right. Or the clients have messaged us and the roof's already finished. We've missed the whole bricks completion stage.
Yes.
And we had bought a drone by this point.
Yes.
So then it just became, all right, why don't we just visit the client's house like on a regular basis, and then we can start keeping track, because by that stage, the boom
happened. The fucking building boom that literally affected the entire world, international as well as Australia. But in WA, we're looking at, we were smashed fucking with inquiry, with selling homes and the grants and everything that was happening. And I remember having a discussion with Julia, and it was about sitting there going, look, we're smashing all the work, this and that. We've seen a couple, hiccups over the years, like with what my journey is and shit. I really think we can't rely on the builder to do everything and to rely on what they normally do. I definitely think something that we would have to probably try and implement is to actually go consistently out on site once a week or once every 2 or 3 weeks, and actually start taking snippets of what's going on site, because if shit hits the fan, right, we have something to fall back on. We have those days, because this actually comes back way before that into my first builder I worked with. I used to have access to every single date when everything was logged in, logged out, from administration to construction. And after we left that initial builder, went to the next one, we didn't have all that access. And I'm a fucking control freak. I needed to know that so that we can continue providing the service that we do. So anyways, so that's how it all started. And then we went, fuck it. While we're doing construction signs, going out on site, let's just fucking continue it and let's do it. At that stage, we didn't have a shit ton of people in construction. So we were going, you know what, let's do it fortnightly, because if I was a person with what started happening and the delays that were happening and shit, I would appreciate as a person having updates from the consultant going, hey, I've gone out on site, even if nothing has happened, just knowing that someone has gone out to site, because a lot of our guys are FIFO, and they might be away for quite a while and they might miss something. So we're just like, regardless of what happens, even if nothing happens, just know that there's always someone there taking, in your corner.
Yeah.
Always there for that support. And here's some photos, here's a different angle that you might not have actually, gone of the photo. Half the time everyone just enjoys it and they forget to take photos, and it's that creating those memories.
I think realistically, to sum up the answer for the question, I think the construction run started from a combination of things that were happening at the time, where we just really expanded onto the service that we were doing.
Correct.
And I'm glad that we did, and it's
100%.
something we've stuck through.
And we're known for it now. Like everyone literally waits
Tuesdays,
for our Tuesday construction run, and clients are asking, going, "Hey, are we doing? You know, I see that you're doing the south run. Is it 1 or 2? Because we want to know if we're getting updates on this one, or do we wait next week?"
Yeah. So at the moment, it's every 3 weeks. It used to be every 2 weeks, just south and just north. But south became so heavily
enormous.
Big, and it used to take such a long time.
We just had so many people on construction at the same time.
And they're so spread out. We really did have to do a western and eastern side, like the beach side and hillside. So that's been split up into 2, which both of the south runs are actually quite manageable at the moment. They're quite lovely.
Don't jinx it.
The north run is
pretty intense. But yeah, we've got like 15 in one suburb.
I know, but our north run's sitting at 42 clients, which is becoming a very big construction run.
It's just longer because, you know, and that's why we split it. You know, you can't do all of them in one day. So what we're doing is basically going all day for north and then all day for south. And then after a while, we like Julie said, we had to split the south because, you know, going from Mandurah to fucking Whitby up to fucking Coburn, just like with travel time and shit, you're spending half the day in the car, let alone actually taking the drone shots, bringing it out, doing all the photos, noting down all the things. You'll start at 6 a.m., finishing at 6 p.m. when it's nighttime. It was just fucked. So split it a little bit. So then there's still daylight and still, you know, time to actually do shit.
Yeah. Alrighty, let's move on to the next one, which is from Zach.
Mm-hmm.
Where is the cheapest block of land in Perth?
Oh, fuck. This is consistently changing. The way I would like to explain it, right, is because there's many factors into this. Are you looking at the most dog cheap fucking block? Are you looking for the cheapest block for a certain size? Are you looking for the cheapest block in a certain area? I would say if you're looking for anything that's going to be the cheapest, the further away from the city that you are, the cheaper it's going to be at the end of the day. And it's always been like that. If you're going to compare north the river versus south the river, this is for WA, south is cheaper. And there's more abundance of land compared to north. If you're looking at Adelaide, the further away from the city centre you are, the cheaper it is. I think at the current moment, from what I'm aware of, for the size of blocks and for the cost, I think Murray Bridge is the cheapest, and that's getting closer to the track because it's quite a bit more of a trek, obviously, away from the city. But again, the further north you go, the further south you go, the cheaper they get. So it's the same thing across the board. If you're looking for the cheapest block, the further away you're willing to travel, the cheaper it's going to be.
Perfect. Okay, next one is from Mary.
What's up, Mary?
Mary is asking, how long do banks look for silly spending habits when applying for a mortgage?
Okay, so we cannot provide financial advice, blah, 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 right? Now, what I can say is...
What a disclosure, hashtag.
Hashtag fucking disclosures. No. So, guys, a couple things with this. If we're talking about silly spendings in regards to like Uber Eats and stuff like that, I would be stopping that for at least, 1 to 3 months. The longer the better, right? Start saving all that money, put it into your savings, put it away somewhere so that you can stop fucking wasting on easy shit. If you are talking about silly transactions, now things to really consider and to really think about with friends and family, do not put smart ass comments or like references if you're transferring money and shit. We have seen in the past with clients that have been banned from banks applying for finance that would have gone ahead because of previous references that were messaged. Like for example, there was a bloke and he messaged himself basically like taking the piss off thing, like, stripper stuff. And then he's like, don't do drugs and shit like that. Not that it was, but it was just smart ass comments.
Funny messages, yeah.
The bank banned him.
Wow.
Yeah. So to a message for everyone, right? When you're talking about silly spendings and you're talking about silly references and shit, stop him as soon as possible and do it for a period of time. Once your finance is approved, if you want to start fucking around with your finances, so be it. But in the beginning, when you're really trying to do the best that you can, stop it as a minimum 1 to 3 months. Transactions, pull your fucking head in. Don't write stupid shit like that. And just, if you're getting car parts, write car parts. Don't write,
silly stuff.
Just don't write silly stuff. Like, be smart about it because those remarks can bite you in the ass years later when you're looking at this. So, little FYI, guys.
Yeah, okay.
Public service announcement.
This one is from Blake.
Okay.
Does it matter if you work casual, full-time or ABN?
Yes and yes and yes. So, so all of them are acceptable with many banks. Banks all are consistently changing policies. Like I can't give too much financial, but I can give you a brief overview from the information we've. Obviously, we work very close with our broker, with Steve from In-Depth Finance. So basically, you can build a home being casual. You can build a home being full-time or part-time, and you can build a home with ABN. There are different policies and regulations with each of them. Normally, with a casual, depending on what it is, you normally have to be there for about 6 months with the casual. With the full-time, sometimes you need to be just there for the probation, which is 3 months. We have seen other banks that don't even give a shit, and you can go in from day one with the contract. And with the ABN, again, it can change quite a lot with different banks. Normally, banks are normally wanting you to have the ABN active for 2 years with 2 years of financials. So that's 2 full years of finances done.
Yeah, with your tax lodged.
Correct. And done, that means no tax debt. And sometimes some of those banks want the same 2 years of being in there, but they might only count the most recent year. So there are different clauses to it, but as soon as you're looking at self-employed like ABN where you're doing it yourself, normally you're going to have to work around 2 years for that.
So in other words, does it matter if you work casual, full-time
Yes.
ABN?
Yeah, definitely.
Yes.
Sorry.
So yes, you did.
I
You
did
said
say
yes.
Yeah,
But
yes. And this is the explanations for each of them. And you can do with all of them.
Yeah.
You know, even if one partner is full-time and the other one is casual, it's all J. We've fucking done it all. You're better to get that information first and suss it out and then make a decision from there.
Lewis has asked this question, which we have answered in our upcoming
Julia's
episodes.
smiling and I don't even know what the fuck the question is. What'd you say, Lewis?
We're recording this before our Finance with Steve episode has come out.
Oh, okay.
So bless him. This will be answered in the future episodes.
Oh, yes.
How much should someone save up to get into the market?
Okay, so based on the episode that we will release, no. So, look, the more money you have together, the better. The reason why is at the current moment we're talking about, we're recording this, can I say now? Like for August?
Yeah, we're recording in August.
We're recording now in August 2023. And at the current moment, one of the best opportunities for WA and SA is the first home lender deposit scheme, or like the first home guarantee. Fuck, man, they keep changing the name of it, right? If you can fit into their requirements. So there are certain requirements whether you're single or as a couple, because you're going in with a 5% deposit and you're not paying lender's mortgage insurance, and you're getting basically some of the best rates out there as a comparison if you were coming in with 20%. So you're doing the same, you're getting the same shit, but with a quarter of the amount of deposit needed. So based on that, you're wanting to be around that between 20 to 30K mark for genuine savings in there. There are options with lower deposits like 5K, which is your key start options in WA, or I think the equivalent potentially is like Home Start Finance in Adelaide. So there are options. I would recommend, we have many clients, probably I would put a fucking figure on it and say about 60% of our clients, when they meet up with us and get the ball rolling, aren't actually ready with their full deposit. They do it over a period of time of 2 to 3 months, sometimes 4 months, depending what they need, because the builder needs to go through so much of the things which you will have done if you guys haven't heard in previous episodes about the pre-construction phase. We have to go through so much shit before we even get to finance and build a home. So while you're saving over the next couple months, we can get the rest of the shit sorted. So this is where it comes into play. Having something is better than nothing.
Yep.
But it's always about creating that plan, and then we can work out the time frame that's going to take you to save that for that figure that you need, because finances are split into two. You've got what is called your borrowing capacity and then your deposit. Bro, you can come in with fucking 100K deposit, but if you can only borrow 300K, it's not going to help you that much. Whereas if you can borrow a shit ton, but you don't have to deposit, you can work around that.
You can work on a deposit.
You need the two to work together for you to get what you're probably chasing.
So to summarize what Nick said, realistic.
I keep talking too much.
$5,000 is a great place to start. It is
as a bare minimum.
It is a great place to start. It has money in the bank and it opens the doors for low deposit option.
If you're applicable.
If you are applicable, yes.
Yes.
Ideally, between 20 and 30,000 is the golden spot at the moment.
100%.
This can change in the future.
Yep.
But
this is for first home buyers.
yes, this
second
is for
home,
first home
second
buyers.
home buyers, whatever you're looking at, 10%.
Yep.
That's the way I like to explain to them. 10%, that helps cover your stamp duty and all the other shit as well as your deposit.
Yep.
As a minimum.
Yeah, Lewis, I hope that answered your question, and we'll move on to the next one.
We'll start the next one. If not, man, just reach out and we can get the broker to fucking help you out.
Yep.
There's not a problem at all.
Okay, this one is from Aaron, which is, what is the average build time at the moment?
Okay, cool. So
depends on the builder.
Exactly. So if we're looking at the average in the market at the moment in the industry, and we're talking about WA here, and we're talking about August 2023, the average is about 2+ years in construction.
No, I'd say 18 months to 2 years.
18 months to 2 years in construction. The reason why is because of the volume of homes that are still being stuck with some of the bigger builders that are taking very long.
Mm-hmm.
So unfortunately, the average build time is that. However, if you're asking, hey, Nick from Mr. Enthusiast, what is your average build time? That is completely different. So we have guarantees with our 2 builders that we work with at the moment, and they guarantee 12 months in construction.
Mm-hmm.
That is from slab down to completion.
Mm-hmm.
The average they are both taking for their homes is around 9 to 10 months.
Yep.
Right? And most of them are hitting that. Some have been real close to the 11-month mark. Some have been done at 7 months. So the comfortable average as of now in August is about that 9-10 months. Yeah. And that will only get quicker.
Yeah, I'd be comfortable putting it at the
100%. And the thing is, guys, if you get it done in 10 months, great. If you know it's 12 and you know it's going to get delivered in 12, then just work on 12.
Yep.
It's much easier that way. And then anything better than that, happy days. Otherwise, you don't get upset.
Worst case scenario, 12.
100%.
Anything above that or like anything faster than that,
is a bonus.
Cherry on the top.
Yep, that's a fucking bonus.
Yep. Okay, let's go to...
Well, sorry, just the second part to it is there are others that can potentially offer quicker. The reason why we're stuck with these builders is because they deliver it day in, day out. The entire last 3 years, since 2020 when the boom started, these builders have not gone over that 12 months with their single-story home. So they know they can deliver on it, and they have done so during all the shit that's happened. So that means a lot more to us as a company that refers business, because we know they not only talk the talk, but they walk the walk.
And we've got a really cool episode coming up, which we have recorded before this one, but it's coming in after this one. A really cool episode coming out about the building boom.
Oh, yeah, that's it.
Okay. Whitney, she said, what should we look for in a house design, and do you have a favorite? That is hard.
That's a loaded question. Holy shit.
What do we look for in a house design?
Garage.
I look at the kitchen. I look at the kitchen because I like to cook. I love being in the kitchen.
You like to entertain.
I love to entertain.
Yep.
So I look at the kitchen. I really enjoy my bathroom. So I like a big shower. I
like a nice bathtub, like a nice ensuite is definitely something that I do find interesting.
Yeah, so I do look at the master and see how I would decompress in the bathroom, because that's where I go to de-stress. So I would look at the ensuite.
Yep.
Walk-in robes, I think I'm starting to look at more and more. As we've
so
started.
basically your master suite.
No, the master bedroom, I don't really...
You do. You've changed our bed like 6 times in the last 6 years.
No.
The orientation and shit.
I've just moved it from one wall to the other. Just back a few times.
So you change it around.
That's fine.
That's also one. Yeah, the whole master suite. Master, walk-in robe, and the ensuite. That is a big one for you, as well as the kitchen.
Master and the kitchen. I think those are the 2 things I look at the most.
Yep.
Secondary, like after that, like which are now my negotiable things, would be the laundry and the alfresco or like backyard space that I'd look at.
Backyard because of the pups and our lifestyle. Like we like to entertain. So definitely one of the main things I look at is garage with my own habits and hobbies and shit like that, just to store everything, do it for more storage as well. But also I reckon the ensuite is a big one. I don't give a fuck about the master. Kitchen, much of a muchness really. It's nice to have it, but Julie's basically the one that cooks. I barely cook, only sometimes. Alfresco, I reckon.
Yeah.
A nice alfresco that can flow out, because I like to just chill, go outside, or if we're having it, entertainment, having a room for a fire pit, potentially a fucking spa or whatever in the future. So those are the things I would look at. Definitely.
I was going to say one more thing. the width of the hallways. That's
Oh,
something
yeah,
I actually
yeah.
do look
Yep,
at a lot
yep.
now.
1.2 is the bare minimum. 1.5 preferable.
Yeah, that I look at quite heavily now.
Wide hallways, fuck
Yeah.
yeah. Bigger doors, like bigger front door, bigger doors on al fresco at the back, 100%.
Do you have a favorite design?
I mean, my 30K garage design's probably fucking right up there. But honestly, nah, I don't, because I like snippets of everything. Like, you know, we just handed over a house recently that's, you know, I've built probably about 30 of them in the last maybe 2 years, right? And this kitchen, how this bloke fucking set it up was out of a fucking display home.
It was chef's kiss.
It was fucking phenomenal, and it just reignited going, fuck, I love this house plan. But then I sat there and went, I would have done this and this and this, a couple of tweaks for my own lifestyle, because like I like to game, so I want to have my own room. I might also want to have enough room in that area for gaming if I want to get like a drift simulator. So I can't do it. Do you know what I mean? Like it's those little things that you start orientating. So there's no perfect design. I definitely have my top, like a top couple.
I don't think we've actually designed a home that we've released to the Mr. Enthusiast public that is like based on our dream home, because I look at designs and I'm like, oh, I'd take the bedroom out of this and I'd take the ensuite out of that and I'd take the kitchen out of this. But I don't have a favorite design. I have favorite parts of designs. Like the priority is obviously I love the
it's gangster.
wardrobe.
Yeah,
like
fuck yeah.
The master ensuite is
Hollywood.
Stunning.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Love it. Chef's kiss. But then the kitchen out of the Bachelor, length, width, depth, scullery. Yes.
Julia's fucking sound effects, man. Fucking. Anyways, keep going, Julia.
There's certain parts of certain designs, so I don't think I
100%,
have a favorite. Maybe we'll sit down and design.
No, I can't deal with Julia.
Might be a top seller.
Nah.
Just saying.
No, well, the thing is, a lot of the designs that we have released have been like, you know, things that we've really liked. Like I really wanted a bigger garage, but then I wanted it to flow out with a walkthrough into the kitchen. You've had, you know, I really want a big fuck off walking rope. Cool. This is the design that we're going to do. Then let's orientate the plan around it. So there's been sections that we've liked and we went, I want to orientate the whole house plan around having a full music studio and recording room. Boom, done.
We
I
did
want a
kitchen, the 11-meter bench space.
Yeah,
kitchen.
like we went and we said, you know what? People keep complaining about fucking bench space. Fucking here's an 11-meter one, which is like one of the biggest in fucking Perth. Like display homes might have 4 to 6. Let's double that.
Yeah.
Fuck you. Let's go balls to the wall, and we did that, and we fucking did
kitchens.
it. Oh, fucking Hollywood, and we've had them built a few times too. Killer. So there's definitely no perfect plan that I would say. My preference for bang for buck, my top one would have to be the Wingman. Like we have sold that so many. The price point for the 4x2 with a theatre and a quad garage, you can manipulate that in so many different ways. You still get quite a large fucking backyard. Like I love that plan for a 450 square block because of the price point versus what you get. In terms of a skinnier design, hands down every day of the week, I would like the theatre for a gaming room, but I'm happy to sacrifice it for a quad garage for myself and get the priorities, because that ensuite, that setup is just Hollywood.
Yep.
And then my other option, if I was to go, would start going
no budget. You have no budget.
Well, no, I'm talking about
Design.
our designs that we have.
Yeah.
So those two, and then if I was to go like I want one of my better plans, I'd definitely go for the Cartel.
Bigger plan. I wouldn't say better plans, bigger plans. That's a
bigger plan. It's a big plan. It still fits on the same 450 square block, so you can start manipulating it. So I can start sacrificing, but it has a nice kitchen, has a nice ensuite, and has like 5 beds, which I don't need. But then I can convert 2 of those bedrooms at the back and make one big fuck off room for what I need. So you can manipulate it to your own lifestyle, no matter what it is. Still has activities if we want to have kids and entertain and all that bullshit. So you can manipulate that plan so well. Obviously, because it's bigger, it costs a bit more. So you start getting into that. But I reckon those 3 are probably
yours.
Yeah. Again, there's tweaks and everything. But if you're talking about what are some of my most ideal and why, I reckon those.
Okay. Let's go to our last question. And this is our long one. And Nick has actually met up with this client.
Oh, yes. I can't wait for this one.
Since she sent this through, but we're reading it anyway because I feel like there's a lot of really good points
definitely.
in here to help all of our listeners answer as well, potentially. Yeah. So this was a big email, by the way. So unlike the rest of them that were quick Instagram messages, this was a big email. So it reads, "Hey, Nick, I hope you're doing really well. I'm so sorry for the essay you're about to read, but I have so many questions to ask. I will definitely look at booking a time to see you to go over all of this, but I am flat out with university and just need these burning questions somewhat answered. I'm spending way too many late nights pondering them." I'm going to have to take a breath. "My name is Meg and my partner is Cody, and I have embarked on the task of saving for our first home deposit."
Embarked. I love it.
"We engaged with our bank at the beginning of the year with the hope to buy a home in the next 1 to 1.5 years. Roughly how long we think it will take, we'll need to save. They suggested we start saving a base deposit of $20,000, as we should be eligible for the first home buyer's grant and the first home owner's grant if we build.
Yep.
We have saved about 35% of it so far, which has been tough on top of the rent and bills. Our current plan is to buy an established home and renovate it, as the option of building has been so daunting with so many companies going under and the cost of material and labour shortages." 100% Meg agree. There is so much stuff out there, and as you mentioned, there's builds that are taking such a long time at the moment, delays, price increases, builders going under. It's super overwhelming.
It's daunting, and everyone these days has a friend or a family member that's probably that might have actually gone through the building boom and is suffering at the moment with long delays or fuck ups and all sorts of shit. So it just then adds further going, fuck, if someone else has had it, then I might have it, and it just snowballs. But then there are really good ones, but they get deafened by so much of the negative that goes out there.
Oh, that was so well spoken. Deafened.
It is.
Okay.
Silenced.
"We are not sure how building a home and renting would work financially either. My partner has a stable job and income as a graduate civil engineer, and I'm still completing my degree to become a psychologist. I do also work as a casual in retail. We have been able to pay our rent of $800 fortnightly and have consistently saved $750 fortnightly for the deposit. This has allowed us to live comfortably." So 800 and 750, do quick math.
1,550.
Thank you. So my first question is, how does building and renting work?
Okay, so building.
Let me tack onto this because it's a long question.
Here's me getting ready for it. Yeah, go on.
I'll tack on it's a multiple question layered thing. So my first question is, how does building and renting work?
Yep.
Are we going to have to pay a mortgage while we wait for the building to complete and rent at the same time?
Yep.
I literally can't wrap my head around how this works, and I've noticed each company is different with what they offer.
Okay.
So layered question.
Yeah. So the second part of your question, you actually answered the first part, which is when you're looking at building, you only pay during the process of the build. So that normally begins from when you've been approved for the bank for your mortgage, and now you've drawn money out of that mortgage to purchase your block of land. So you've achieved settlement. Your repayments begin then. So the initial part, you pay your deposit, and that's it. You might be still saving or whatever the fuck you need to do. Your repayments begin from there. Now, as of August 2023, some banks have changed some policies where the land portion, because sometimes it's split between two. So the land portion, you'll be paying principal and interest, but then the rest of the building component, as it draws down, is interest only. As a general rule of thumb, you're normally paying the interest only during the course of the build. So you're not paying a full mortgage, principal and interest, the entire way, because otherwise it's fucked to try and build while you're paying rent. So yes, there are costs associated. And what we like to explain is, once you've called up for an info session, we've gone through it all and we work your budgets, we actually explain what those repayments look like with some of the banks that we work with that would be in the applicable option for you. So what that means is, yep, cool, we've taken everything into account. And with these banks, they reckon that you can borrow X amount. With this amount of deposit you need to save. And the repayments when you first settle would be this. And then when you start construction, will be this. By the end of the build, it'll be this. And then a month after you pick up the keys, that's when your first full, that's when your first full repayment begins.
Yep.
So that's when, you know, the number of like $700 or $800 a week, that's where that normally comes into play.
For the second part of the question, which
or
Remind me. Last bit, which is I've noticed that each company is different with what they offer.
Okay.
I think what she's referencing here
is like the pay your rent shit.
Yeah, like pay your rent while you build. Yep. And we did cover this in episode 7 with Maddie, which was marketing gimmicks. But let's talk about it quickly here as well.
Quickly. So all of those like we'll pay your rent type of bullshit, they're just fucking promo gimmicks that are provided by builders. What it is basically the builders will layer up what's called padding. So they put a certain amount of money inside your home price. So for example, if your house was worth, you know, the house build was $350, they might go $360, and then they'll utilize that 10, which they might give you at a certain point in your build or during the process. They normally give it to you as a lump sum figure later down the track in your build, where you'll be able to use that amount to actually help cover a portion of your rent. It will not pay your entire rent depending on your circumstance. We're getting many people paying anywhere between $500 to $800 a week. And if you're looking at the average, let's say a guarantee of 12 months, fuck me, man, that's like 40K. Who's going to be giving you 40 grand? They ain't going to. They'll give you a small portion of that. So you got to look at all the fine details and the terms and conditions. And if they are upfront about it and they explain it all and you're happy with that, then go for it. But we don't do that. We'd rather let you know straight up, because that 10 grand or whatever you're adding on, you're paying that for the next 30 years.
Yep.
Because it's going to cost you even more.
Okay. So next part.
Cool.
Thanks to the algorithm, your Instagram has popped up numerous times, and I've basically decided if we build, it will be most likely with you and your team.
Shout out to Insta. Oh, was it Meta now? Shout out to Meta.
To the algorithm.
Yeah, to Meta algorithm.
Cody and I are looking to customize a floor plan.
Yep.
In brackets. Not sure which one yet, but would like to eventually get your recommendation, as we have some specific needs for our gaming setups. Hey, game, that's
yes.
Cool. We would love to have a large study, both big PC gamers, and also a decently sized room dedicated to tabletop games. I'd also like a small area in a 2-car garage for my DIY/art projects, and have a place to set up our 3D printers. Are things like that something we can eventually look into? And does customizing the floor plan come at a significant cost? I have a question for you, Meg. What kind of art projects do you do? Because I like art.
I was going to say, because obviously I've met with them. I don't know about the art one, but I do know the tabletop, which is D&D, which is fucking awesome.
Oh, that's so cool.
They're legends.
Well, falls right into line with our Baldur's Gate.
Yeah, I know. And the other part to it is the 3D printers is they're printing off portions of the fucking entire environment.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Can I join your D&D game?
Wild. And then what was the other part to that was... Okay, so let's actually answer your question.
So basically, can we customize a floor plan around this?
So I'm kidding. So the answer to your question for this one is yes, absolutely, you can modify the plans. What we've got to keep in mind is what we've already taken into account, which is your budget, how much we've spent on the land, and now we've looked at the plan. So by this stage, I would have had a bit of an idea knowing if we've got a bigger budget for modifying the floor plan or if we've got lower budget, and figure out from there. Now, when you're modifying the floor plans, we have explained this before, but to give you guys a bit of an explanation again, right? So I have to take a deep breath for this one. So basically when you're looking at the floor plan, and if you're moving walls that were already on the plan and you're moving them elsewhere, and you haven't added anything else and you haven't had to add any additional material, then there's no charge. Mm-hmm. If you delete walls or materials that were already on the plan, you will get what's called a credit back. If you are adding material, walls, flooring, ceilings, whatever the fuck it is, that wasn't there before, that is what you're going to get charged for. Now, when does it become too far left field, for example, where it just becomes not viable to actually modify the house plan because it costs too much? That's when you start looking at, let's say, you, as a hypothetical here, you wanted a 4x2 with a theatre and a slightly bigger garage, but the floor plan that you wanted the master at the back rather than the front. So then you had to start flipping it, and the whole thing got real complicated. That's when you have to start considering maybe you're not looking at the right floor plan, or maybe not in the right budget for what you're looking for. So you got to keep all these things into consideration when you're looking at it.
Perfect. Okay, from here.
Next one.
On another note, how much flexibility do we get with doing a lot of the interior work ourselves, and does it increase/lower the overall cost of the build? Obviously, doing it ourselves also comes at a separate cost too, but I get my own creative freedom from it. There are a number of very custom things I'd like to do myself, in brackets, grown up with a family that's flipped every house I've lived in, close bracket. The following is a list of things I'd rather do. 1, because I have a specific vision, and 2, I love doing DIY work. I'll just call out all 3s.
Yeah, go on.
Tiling in my own kitchen backsplash.
Yep.
Installing my own kitchen countertops.
Mm-hmm.
And tiling wet areas.
Okay. From those 3, you can do 1.
Okay.
So we can remove the tile splashbacks that are from your kitchen and just leave it like a render or whatever, and you can deal with that later. Not a problem. In terms of not having the tiles done in the wet areas, unfortunately, we cannot do that with the builder. They will not allow it. They have to tile it. So you have one of 2 options here. You can either choose to pay the difference and get exactly what you want and pay that difference up front so you don't have to try and do it yourself. Or number 2, choose hella basic, whatever it's needed, and then just rip it up and do it afterwards yourself. Unfortunately, there are certain regulations where the builder will need to do things, and allowing external parties to come in and shit like that, it just becomes a pain in the ass.
Mm-hmm.
So totally get it, but there has to be a certain rule with everything. When you're looking at full high-end custom, they can let you do whatever the fuck you want to do because it's a different ball game. But when you're talking about the type of business that we're doing and what you're looking for your first home, there are certain rules and regulations you got to follow.
Yep.
What was the other one? There was another one. So there was the tiles in the wet area.
Installing own kitchen countertops.
Okay, so this one again, very hard to work with. So I would look at what you're chasing first, and figure out, are you looking for a specific type of stone bench top? Are you looking for certain laminates? Because if you had just laminate and you wanted to put a full like high-end finished stone, you'd probably actually need more support bracing inside the cabinetry. And if that's not allowed for, it can become a shit show and you're just adding extra costs. You can't just delete the whole kitchen and do it later as well. There are certain regulations with what needs to be done. You can definitely reduce things, but again, you got to look at what is your actual budget, what you're willing to do, what can you afford, and what's actually viable. Is this all viable for your very first one, that your plan of attack might be only to be in it for the next five or so years, and then, flip it or keep it and then build something a bit better that might be more suitable for your next one? You just got to suss all these things out and see how it lines up with your vision.
Regarding the cost of the house and land, an ideal world, I would love to not spend more. Am I saying budgets on here?
Yeah, you can. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Fucking
430K, as we can avoid stamp duty. However, I have a feeling we will be looking at a price quite a bit higher than that. I know you work with Levita Homes. Do you work collaboratively on the house and land packages, or do we need to acquire our own land first? Bit confused on how all of this works. Currently would like to build somewhere near the train lines as Cody requires it to get to work in the CBD.
Yep, cool. So 2 parts to that. When you are looking at purchasing established property, the first home for you to, this is for WA guys, so this is based for the stamp duty exemption. So if you're buying a property, if it's 430 or less, you don't pay stamp duty. However, when you're building, it's based on the value of the land. So therefore, if the land is 300,000 or less, you don't pay stamp duty. So you can get the same thing but spend more. The next part about that is, go again, Julia.
Yeah, I know you work with Levita Homes. Do you work collaboratively?
Collaboratively. Oh shit! Oh fuck! I almost got
collaboratively on the house and land packages, or do we need to acquire our own land first?
All right, gotcha. So we work alongside Levita Homes, and we have another builder as well. Basically, we've partnered with them where the builders, Levita Homes and Progen, they deal with the headaches I don't want to do, right? So we help assist with Mr. Enthusiast, and when people reach out to us, we help assist with everything, finance, house, and land. So we can, basically it's a one-stop shop, right? In regards to looking at areas, we can fuck around and figure out what's going to work, because once we've established a budget and we know the time frame, then we can look at the areas, which is going to be important for you guys, for you and Cody, and then we will look at the actual floor plans that would help accommodate all those things. Because if you jump for the area, but then you don't have enough budget, you're fucked. If you spend too much on the land and you can't get a house, then you're going to be pitching up a fucking tent. And if you get too sold on the floor plan, then you might be yeeted somewhere far away, which might not work with your circumstances if Cody needs to be near a train line. So all these things need to be taken into account. And yeah, it is very confusing. There's so many different people throwing their house land specialists and this and that, and these guys do it and that do it. You don't need to do it yourself. We can help assist with it. If it's something that we can't provide, then you can go and look for it yourself and we can figure it out from there.
Lastly, when is it the best time to start the whole process if we decide to build? Should we wait until we have saved our starting deposit, or is it something we should be looking at now?
Okay, so I like to explain to people, jump in ASAP.
Yep.
And the reason why, right, it's not about for me to try and get as much business as possible. I don't give a fuck. It's more about for you to get the right information based on your circumstance. So there is no harm in you catching up with me, right? You're going to spend about an hour. We're going to have a spit yarn. We're going to go through most likely more questions than what Meg's already sent through, and just go through it all. We can assess, we can send off all of the situation, send it to the broker. Broker can then come back and go, this is what you're actually looking at. There's no point working on so many hypotheticals, because currently shit's changing nonstop. Interest rates are going up, then they go down, then this changes, the bank policy changes. So something that might have worked initially, but then you've fucking prolonged and pushed it back, might not actually work now. And then you're in a fucking worse position than you were initially. So I would always say, start now, have the conversation. Once you've had that and you know exactly where you stand, then you can start going through the process and go, okay, cool. Now we figured out what we can do with the land. We can figure out what we can do with the house. Then you can make a decision and you can go, well, we can actually save the remainder of what we need in the next coming months. And we know that we can secure these right now so that we don't lose that opportunity. Then you can make that. Then that is your decision to sit there and go, fuck it, pull the trigger.
Or vice versa. Maybe they've already saved more than enough and 100%. They don't need to save any more.
Exactly. And sometimes you don't know, like, yeah, you know, you had the goal, you were about 35%, I believe, from what they were saying, from what you saved. But then by the time you figure shit out, something lines up, you got a bit of extra cash from tax and whatever, or parents can help out, and all of a sudden you're where you need to be much quicker than what you thought. The way I like to tell people is it all comes back to working on your scenario for one main reason. It's all about timing yourself for the market rather than timing the market. And what I mean by this is yesterday was better than today. Today is better than tomorrow. And that is probably the best fucking line for me to fucking explain to people how it is about properties. And how that relays back to you guys. It's simple. You cannot time the market for when you should be jumping in and looking at shit. But you can time your own commitments and when you can do that. And that is by reaching out and starting that process now, because it's going to be better now than it's going to be in the next 5 years.
The first step is always the hardest. It's
100%.
The biggest step. It's the scariest.
Fucking daunting. It's scary.
Scariest step, but the first step is the most important one.
And it's the most clarifying one as well, I think.
Starting the conversations. That is the most important one because it gives you an understanding of where you are at the moment and what you need to do to get to where you need to be.
100%.
Okay, I'll just close off her email because it was nice. I have heaps more questions, but I'll save them for when we decide to book a consult with you. Thanks for booking in. Thank you so much for your time, and I hope my newness to the whole building process didn't make you pull your hair out. Kindest regards, Meg.
Honestly, I fucking loved it. When I saw this, I got so excited and I sent it to you. I was like, oh my God, Julia, you have to read this fucking email.
Just to me. It was like, oh my God, look at this question.
Yes. Not in the sense of like, oh my God, look at what the fuck this is. I was so excited because someone's really gone, hey, like I'm staying up at night thinking about this shit. I need some fucking help.
Yeah.
I need someone to answer this shit. And well, you're the one that just sits there and fucking says as it is. So can you fucking do this for me or what? Because, you know, rather than your brain sitting there and going, should this be what it is? But then 3 other people are contradicting it, saying this, and then someone else is saying that, and then there's us.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck. This is what it is.
It was honestly receiving an email like that.
I fucking loved it.
It really just like gets your gears turning. It really like
it was a bit of a challenge. There was some things I had to sit there twice and go, oh, actually, no, that is right. I need to write it this way.
Fun and exciting to have to write it rather than explain it in person.
Which I still did explain.
I know, but and I know you responded to her and you she ended up booking and seeing you.
Yeah.
But like it is just so fun to actually have to sit and think things through and write it down rather than just talking about it, because it comes naturally to you to talk, but you have to sit and think and write it. That's completely different.
Yeah, that's it.
So that's all our questions. And if you guys have any more questions that you would like answered, yes, it takes a little bit of time for us. It doesn't take us a long time to record it. It just takes a long time for the episode to air.
Well, yeah, like we're doing weekly episodes, but we're like ramping as much as we can at the moment, get them all done. And then obviously you guys can always rely on that reliability so that it's always done weekly, that you can tune in every fucking Thursday. Here we go.
Yep. So if you do have any more questions that you'd like us to answer, no question is too small, too silly. No. We would love to answer them.
Fuck yeah.
Shed some more light. And if you guys can leave a rating or a review, that would be fantastic, because it really does help us in the back end and promote the pod on all the platforms.
On all the platforms, and just getting that branding and that awareness out there. We're all about awareness. This is why we've done this. Do we have to do this? No. But if this can bring out some shed of some sort of information, some sort of awareness to people out there, then that is what we're trying to do. So help us try and push that forward as quickly as possible, because I definitely think there's a lot of what we've said that can help people. Oh, bless you. We're just about to sneeze. So I definitely think that there's quite a bit in there that can help everyone. So yeah, just help a brother out. And if there's something that you've learned from some of our episodes or anything, flick us a message and be like, hey man, fucking this. I fucking love seeing him. Love reading him, and always sharing with Julia and with Brian as well about any of the comments and stuff. So yeah. Anyways, I think that's it.
You can find Mr. Enthusiast on
Facebook, TikTok, Insta, website, Google, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube.
Yes, and send those questions through either on Instagram, Facebook,
or email,
which is nik@mrenthusiast.net.au. And yeah, just remember, guys.
We're not here.
Oh, I'm saying it to fuck spiders.
Fuck oath you are. See you guys.
Bye.